And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, today we're taking a look at Stockpile. This is a stock market game of insider trading. Now, stock games, there's a few great stock market games. Acquire is probably the most well-known of those. There's also many terrible stock games, usually because they're very overwrought and there's all this math that needs to be done in them, and they try to be very serious about the stock market. And you can be serious about the stock market, but you know, you get too simulatory of the stock market and it just... This was a Kickstarter game, so I was also a little wary of it, although I could not tell because it looks so good. It is good. Oh wait, I'm giving my opinion away early. Let's take a look at it. So here's the setup for the game. There are 6 different stocks that are out here. Cosmic Computers, Bottom Line Bank, Leading Laboratories, American Automotive, Stanford Steel, Epic Electric. Each of these starts on a different, well actually they all start at having a share value of 5. The game's going to take place over several rounds. At the top of the board here, you'll mark how many rounds. That depends on how many players are in the game. And there's going to be cards here. There's one for each company. And then there's cards that show you how stock works, like this will make stock go down, this will pay out to people who owe the stock, and they make it go up or down. At the beginning of the game, each player, at the beginning of each round, players are going to get something. So for example here, I know that Stanford Steel is going to go up 2 on the chart. No one else has this information. Ha ha ha. Also, there's going to be one piece of information that everyone has. Everyone knows that Bottom Line Bank is going to go down by 2. So as the game progresses, players are going to have, each round they're going to have one piece of information that only they know. There's one piece of public information that everyone knows, and there's going to be one or more piece of information that no one knows. All the cards are going to be paired up. Then the next thing that people are going to do in a round is they're going to be drawing cards from the stockpile, and they're going to be placing them. Each player is going to have 2 cards, and they're going to be placing one card face down and one face up in turn order. When players place a card, they will place it underneath one of these slots here, and there's a certain number of slots that are open based on how many players. So a slot may have more cards underneath it. Maybe this slot here has 2 shares, one of Epic Electric and one of Bottom Line Bank, and one unknown. The one next to it only has 2 cards. Both are face up though, so 2 Leading Laboratories. And then the one next to that has all 3 face down. And then over here, we simply have 1 face up share. Now players are going to be bidding on these. And the way that you bid on this is on your turn, you'll place out a token like this. So here, for example, I could maybe bid 0 on this pile. And then another player can outbid me by bidding 3. The numbers are right there on the board. And then after everyone has passed and gone around, I can bid somewhere else. I might bid over here. So you'll always get, you can always take one of the piles for 0, a pile for free, but you might want another pile more, so you'll outbid someone, although the maximum bid would be 25. Once everyone has won one of the groups, you will take that group. Some of the groups will have trading fee cards in them. These cards mean are extra money that you have to pay. So if I took, let's say I took this pile here, like, oh, I have to pay 5,000 more. Sucker! Other cards will be action style cards, like this stock bust card, and the players who get those cards are going to then take turns playing those, either a stock bust or a stock boom, and choosing to bring different things up or down. Then players in turn order will have a chance to sell shares that they have. Now players may wish to sell shares because they know it's not going to do well, or for whatever reason, and you're going to watch the other players and wonder why are they selling the shares that they have. And after everyone's done selling shares, then everybody will reveal, aha, Stanford Steel goes up by 2. We knew that Bottom Line Bank was going to go down by 2. And what else is happening here? Oh, Epic Electric is going up by 4. And so things like that will happen. If a stock ever reaches and goes past 10, then the stock splits. You'll notice there's a octagonal shape here, so it pops back down to 6. And anybody who has a share of that type is going to take it on their boards where they keep all their shares located, and just move it over here, and it just means that you now have a double share of that type. So that's a very impressive way to double your stocks and get more money. However, the opposite can happen. If they go all the way down here, then the stock busts, everyone loses all the shares they have, and then since it's a circle, it pops back up here, and now they're a value of 5 again. This will continue. You'll do another round, the exact same thing, and after a certain number of rounds, you will sell all your shares for the current price. Players will get bonuses for having the most shares of each type. You will then add all the money together, and whoever has the most money is the winner. Also, you can play on the other side of the board where the shares all act differently. Like, for example, you'll notice here that the blue shares are much smaller tracks, so it can crash or go up really quickly. The bottom line bank will never be very high in value, but hey, it will double very quickly. The leading laboratories is a normal one. The automotive one here is just every other number, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 30, so it can go really high, but it's a short track. Stanford Steel pays dividends out all the time on it, and then the electric track is another normal track. So this kind of gives you some things that you can do. This is a much more interesting side to play on because the different colors mean things. And players also can have somebody you'll get one of these people at the beginning of the game. It shows your starting money and a special ability that you have as the game goes by. Like he has no special ability, but he starts with $32,000, and this guy can look at a card but only starts with $20,000. So both those are optional, the other side of the board and such, but the game plays the same. Stockpile is an excellent game. Several reasons. One, the component quality is great. Card money, quality card money, huzzah! All the stuff is very easy to read, easy to play and teach. Great. I like the artwork. I like the graphic design. Simple things like when your stock doubles, it shows an octagon, and you move it back to the octagonal space. It's just an easy match, and man, the game just flows so smoothly. It plays well with other players. The auctioning in it. I'm not a huge auction fan, but in this is the auction, the same one that's used in Vegas Showdown and in Amun-Re, and this is the kind of auction that I can get behind. Because this auction, it's also using Cyclades, this auction, you're not going to sit there and go 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it goes 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 20, 25. So, you can go up and you can always win something for free. It may not be something great. In fact, it might be negative, but there's always something you can get. And I like that. Each turn someone's getting things. I like the stocks. You're sitting there going, he just sold all his yellow stocks. What does he know that I don't know? They must be going bad. They must be. But they might not be. So that insider information is pretty cool. If there's one negative thing I would say about the game is I felt like in let's say a 4-player game, there are 6 turns, and each person gets to be first, but in this game, being last is better because you can watch what the other 3 players did, and if they all sold stocks, you might think that might be a good idea for you to sell some of those colors also. And so the last player has a slight advantage. And so one person will go first in a 4-player game. 2 people go first twice. Those people are at a slight disadvantage. But be that as it may, trying to get majorities of the stocks, trying to do different things. I like the advanced board better than the basic, but even the basic game is straightforward. It fits into the 45 time frame well. Easy to teach. It's great. It really is. It's a stock market game, I think, for people who aren't that big a fan of stock market games. If the theme is one that you're like, I don't know about this theme, I would still consider checking this one out. Quality production all around, wonderful. Dice Tower Judgments, into my collection.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!